this is what I think would be good to use today because I think one of the things I think that we need to establish is what you want this to be still. I think you're not sure what you like, what kind of program, kind of course you want, how you want it to look, and then
Hmm.
what, like, do you want it just to be focused on one topic, or like an overarching, like, here's a program and it has multiple content, multiple courses that you could take. One is about building an LLC, other one's about voicing, the other one's about uh, professionalism with the deaf community. Like, what is it that you actually want it to be? And then what kind of ideas you have, and then synthesize that. And then from there, outline the actual what the course is, what the description is, what the objectives you want. Because I have a question for you too. Like, do you want this just to be something you're promoting, or do you want it to be? Because I was looking up RID. Do you
Uh-huh.
want it to be like in collaboration, and people can take it for CEUs and stuff like that?
I mean, that would be nice because then more people would take it. But before that could even happen, I think RAD has to like approve it. You have to send
Yeah,
in like all these re whatever the
exactly.
requirements are.
Hmm.
Uh,
Because if you look at this, ladies, this is kind of similar to what you're doing. I think yours might be a little bit more detailed, but like these are her objectives, right? What they're gonna learn, what the this offers, what the content is, who she is,
mm,
and stuff like that. But I think this one's in person, and I think for you, it might be easier because you could like you would have an actual course people could take, and
how
it could
many?
be offered at any time. Like it doesn't have to be this specific day, this person presenting it. Anybody could take
Yeah,
it anywhere, any place. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But I think what we've been struggling with is like what exactly is it that you want it to be? You know what I mean? Do you want this overarching program with these courses in it, or just one course with these different like each week you're taking this topic in this course or something like that?
I need to take notes because then
Oh, this is taking notes for me.
being recorded. That's right.
Yeah, and it's also transcribing,
Oh, nice.
so I could share it with you at the end.
Hi, my name is Daisy. There we go. I mean, I like the idea of having a variety of different topics that they can take. Just
Mhm.
the thing is, like, I guess I should see. Um, so have you ever heard of CEUs on
Hi,
the?
can you move this over there, please? Over there on the couch. Thank you. Yeah, that's fine. Even for you? Yeah, it's just because it's loud next to the computer. Thank you.
I need to go into this. You could take CEUs from this place called CEUs on the go.
Hmm.
Guess maybe
Hmm.
see like how I would like it to be like a variety of different
Yeah.
uh
Okay.
I guess courses. That way like one course doesn't have to be too long
Yeah, that makes sense.
because then sometimes yeah that you feel like oh God maybe like
Yeah.
try to I guess the plan should be like maybe try to make five and start with five. Is that a good number? I don't know.
It's up to you. Well, it depends on the content and what you have, and if you have enough content for that. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
then also like you want to make sure you're targeting what is needed. Hold on.
I guess
Let
I
me
don't know like how to make objectives.
let me see if I can get a million real fast. Well, that can come after, because like what it is that we need to first develop just what it is that you want.
Okay. Sorry.
You know, that's fine.
Got a request. I'm just sending it.
No, it's fine. It's perfect time. So
So the first thing you said is What is it that I want?
Yeah,
I feel like I need to
yeah.
write notes because I'm just old and notes is really.
That's fine. Hi. Mommy's gonna come get you right now, okay?
Why?
Because you're being too loud.
I'm not being too loud.
But you are.
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm not. I'm not being too loud.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
I think it starts with Amelia. Yeah. We'll put her in the box and then we'll send her so she could.
Let me take her up real fast. Hold on.
It's okay.
Right back inside.
No, don't take her that up. No, 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 no.
Come on.
Oh.
I'm gonna. Yeah. What are you doing? I'm right here with Matthew. You already took her up?
Yeah, right. Hold on.
Oh, I'm right here with Matthew. Okay. Hey,
Okay,
Matthew.
bro.
What's up, Matthew?
Did he fart?
Yeah, he just fart. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna take a shower now.
All right.
All right, I'll see you, Matthew.
Hey. So, well, because the idea is that, like, here's your overarching program, right? And so, what do you want in it? And so, you want it to have these different content. So, is it like a certificate thing, CEU, like, or program or something,
Or we could just.
whatever the title would be, like, and then what do you want in it?
Okay.
So,
So
you want them to know how to become an LLC or become like a small business?
I think like in the middle, it should be like something neutral. Like I'm an interpreter, so now what?
Hmm.
Right? I guess. What do you think?
Yeah, that's exactly what it would be. But whatever title you want to make it.
But can that just be the topic?
Sure.
Like we don't need to complicate it. Let's just.
That's your title?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are like, I don't even know what to do, where to start. You know, like
Hmm.
I I graduated my ITP, but like I don't even know how to contract with agencies and stuff. You know, because I feel like that might be able to connect you to like the business side. Uh, like, do you want to be a business? How do you want to set yourself up? Maybe even have like a separate one that says like having your own how to communicate with agencies, right? I don't know what that would be. Like business side, do you want to be a business? That yeah.
So like that. Okay. What else are some of the issues? Is it taxes too?
Um,
Like if you want to be a business, you would have to know how to do your taxes.
well, I would say that if you want to be a business and you should do your taxes, your accountant should be a do your taxes, you know? I have like where's my PowerPoint? Workshop stuff, business license.
License.
Yeah, like to be a business, I guess in that one I could talk about getting a license. Um, all of a sudden I can't find my workshop stuff. Getting a business license. Do you want to be like that, an S corp or an LLC?
Hmm.
I wouldn't know what to say about an LLC because I don't have one. I just have an S corp, so I could tell you more about that. You know. Here it is.
I'll see. But see, this makes sense because now you know like how you want to put it in and what content you want to put in. And at the same time, you know that one of the issues that interpreters have is how they establish themselves and what they want to do.
So business side, do you want to be a business? How do you communicate with agencies?
And then like as a business, how we like what goes into that? So for you, like how do you communicate with agencies? What are things that you do that other people wouldn't know?
So I think that maybe that one, like instead of like that being on the business side, it could be on the
Hmm.
bottom where it says add an awesome.
Hmm.
And it could be like instead of like that could be like the bottom of contracting with agencies.
Oh, okay.
You get me?
Yeah.
And then like how do you as a business, how do you communicate with agencies? Like I guess that could be somewhere where like I could do like a little sample of an email introducing yourself to the agency, sending your rate sheets,
Okay.
or email sample could be separate from maybe like the rate sheet could be like rate sheet, business license, what documents do I need when I'm communicating with an agency, right?
Oh,
That would
well,
be
I
like,
don't know. You would have to tell me. And then so like when you do communicate with agency, you do send in all those forms?
uh, if they agree, so I'd like to send them prior to like them agreeing, like, hey, I'm Daisy, so blah blah blah. Here's my rate sheet. Here's my business license. Then after that, if they're like, oh yeah, we like you, here's my RID proof of certification.
That makes sense.
Then
Okay.
they'll be like, oh yeah, we need like your TB shot, your flu shot, and whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Rate sheet, email, UB, certification, all of that. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's good. As a business, how do you communicate with agencies?
Sense. Okay. So then initially, once you're done with interpreting, and if you want to have your own business, first you have to set up your own business. And then after you set up your business, whether you want to be an S corp LLC, then how do you communicate with the agency to get those jobs for your business?
Yeah, but you don't have to set up your own business because you could also just do it under your social security number.
Okay.
So I guess on that section, talk about that. I don't know.
Okay.
Or you're just, but do you think that should just go with, oh no, I see it says
Well,
business side.
but are those two different processes? Like if I do just with my SSN, but do I have to do different forms with the agency? Do I have to do different things? Or is there like kind of interlap or like,
Well, no,
hmm.
if you just do it with your social security number, you don't do anything. You just fill out your W-9 and you send it to them. But if you do it with the business, then usually they want proof of like that you're a business.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
sometimes just the business license is satisfactory. But you
Yeah.
could get a business license with just your name and
Okay.
work under your social security number. So I don't know if that should be together where it like I could say like business side, like do you want to be
Hmm.
an LLC or an S corp, or do you just want to work under your social security number? Because maybe you have a
Hmm.
full-time job and you're just freelancing on the side.
That makes
I mean,
sense. Yeah. So
but
this is what, yeah. Yeah. So it depends on your time. So then this could all be one course where, okay, you're right, I'm an interpreter. Now what, how do I move forward in getting jobs? And here are two avenues. And then in that you can create, okay, here's the business side of it if you're a business. But if you're just one person and you don't want to be a business, say you're doing this, this, and this is how you would set up that process. And that could be like, for example, like when you put it in, it would be like, okay, here's the course. I'm interpreter now what? And then each week we'll go over, okay, if you're gonna do this, boom, 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 boom. And this would be the content that you have. So if we go over here, let's make this a little bit bigger.
and this is in Canva.
Yeah, I shared it with you.
Oh yeah, I haven't opened it yet. I saw it.
I'm gonna make this bigger. small one first. So I don't know what the title would be, but I'm gonna put like first steps. And then it could be something like you finished your ITP program and like a small little thing and then a description of what you're actually going to learn. So you finished your ITP program and now are unsure of the next steps. This course will help you determine if becoming a small business, what would you call if you don't become a small business, what do you call yourself? Is just an individual contractor? You might pass. And then we can workshop this later. And then this would be the objective. So like, okay, I'm going to take this course and it's going to help me decide if I need to become a business, if that's better for me, or if I'm going to stay as an independent contractor and just use my SSN number or something like that. Now, once I take this course, what am I going to get out of it? What am I going to learn once I leave? Like, what will I be able to do once I'm done? So like, for example, if we go to this lady's, her educational objective, right? I know that once I leave this course, at least I'll be able to tell two differences between a W-2 and a 1099. I should be able to know what three business deductions are when I leave. When I leave, I should be able to do uh identify. Maybe I'm not know how to use it, but I could tell that this is a record keeping app that can help me with my taxes. And then also, oh, quarterly estimated taxes, I could save for and pay for that as a freelancer or something like that. Because this one is targeting freelance interpreters and not businesses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it might be this maybe might be two courses where you had just one business course and one independent contractor course. And then maybe what you can do is have like a quiz or a pre-quiz or something, like an assessment. Like, hey, take this free quiz to determine if business is right for you or independent contractors are for you. And then whichever one you land on, this is the course you want to take. Like you could offer that for free. It could be like 10, 20, 10 or 15 questions. So people can determine, okay, this is where I'm at in my life. I should probably be a business instead, or I should be an independent contractor instead. Like a pre-test or a pre-questionnaire for somebody to know. Because otherwise, how am I going to know which course to take? You know what I mean? I'm going to have a note for that.
I feel like I don't have like I don't know. Let me see. If I sign in, can I access this too since you sent it to me?
Yeah. So Lay does your design stuff, right?
She hasn't done anything yet, but she's doing some design stuff, so she said she would. She's doing like a website for herself right now, so she said she was gonna see if I liked it. She had something in mind. So. Uh,
Okay. So then that
Did you
would be one or possibly two courses. I sent it to your GATA.
send two different ones on?
Yeah. This one is what's your main idea or topic?
Okay.
And I'll just change the title later.
Oh, this is cool. Okay.
So then that would be one possible idea. So now with that, what's another need you see that freelance interpreters have that they struggle with?
I was making notes.
How much time do I? Because I only have I might have to upgrade this Zoom to the.
Oh, we could just sign out and sign back in.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's what we do with sessions.
I forgot about that. I haven't done that in a long time.
Oh, I think it's
And there's always stuff we could add to here too, like whatever you think of, because once this is done, and then we determine how many courses you want and what you want in it, then we have to map and flesh the whole entire course out after that. You know what I mean? Right now it's just coming up with the ideas that you want based on the needs that you see in the field. Like, okay, I see that a lot of interpreters don't even know how to start in terms of being an independent contractor or being a business. And then that's the one course you have to fit that need. Then what would be the next need that you see a lot?
I think the next thing is like honestly them just being ethical is like one thing. I don't know.
Ethics. What do you mean by being ethical?
Like I guess something that I've noticed a lot lately is like interpreters will be like, "Wait, I didn't know I had a voice." And it's like, "What do you mean you didn't know you had a voice?" That's interpreting. Like, hello, you know what I mean? So I think like some of them they just think that it didn't say it in the job details, so I don't have to do it, you know? And like I guess part of ethics is too is like knowing what jobs you're capable of doing and what jobs you're not. So I get it, everybody has
Um,
bills, but don't just accept any kind of work and be like, I hope I'll be good for it. If you don't know, then ask the agency for more information. And if the agency doesn't give it to you, then guess what? I guess you can't take the job, right? You know what I mean?
So
So,
then how would you go about asking the agency?
well, I would just ask, do you have more information to confirm that I'm the right fit for this job?
Then? Hmm. So then do you think that's an ethic issue in terms of like them not knowing or they just don't know? Like because I know there's the RID code of ethics. Does that go over talking about voicing and stuff like that?
I mean, I feel like voicing is a given. Isn't that interpreting?
Maybe not for everybody. You know what I mean?
But that's
Like,
part of the job. That's part of interpreting is you have to voice for people because they're deaf.
well, in the ITP program, I remember when we
And
were
that's what I
going
was
through
gonna
it.
say. Like, I've never
Yeah,
been through an ITP program, so I don't know if
yeah.
that's part of what they tell you guys or not. Or
So part of it is that yeah, you do know you have voicing, but 90% of it is focused on the manual side in terms of the getting it out. And there's not a lot of like voicing practice. So I think it's like more in the foreground than it is in the front of your mind. You know what I mean? And so there's not a lot of people who are as experienced with that. And I think there's just not awareness of it sometimes.
hmm.
So maybe it's teaching them like, hey, this is twofold. One, it is an ethical issue because you're not doing this appropriately for your deaf client, for yourself, and then also, how do you determine that what your skill set is? How do you determine if this job is appropriate for you? How do you find out your level for that? So it sounds like there's more to it than just an ethical thing. It's more about analyzing yourself and analyzing, yeah.
Self-awareness.
Exactly. So then, let's see, because you're right, you should know what level am I at. And that's the thing too, is that like who determines the level? If there's only a certification and there's not certification, right? Hello, say something?
No, yeah,
Okay. Like, is there anything else now that helps you see your levels? There's no longer in-house exams, is there?
not really. But I mean, a lot. Yeah, if you're not certified, then usually they want to, from what I understand, kind of have like an interview with you. Um,
Hmm.
but I understand and I get it. Like the EIPA is expensive for people, but that's a good
Oh
way
yeah.
to gauge
Okay. That's
what
right.
level you might be at.
And then I have to pay for that?
Yeah, I think it costs like 350. I think like the EIPA and like that should be like I'm an interpreter now, what like steps towards getting certified and other certification.
Oh, okay. Well, because you're right. I'm an interpreter now. What? How do I set myself up to get? Yeah. How do I set myself to get up jobs? How do I set myself up as a contractor? How do I know my skill level going forward? And how does that process go? So that's another course that you could do. Okay. How to determine what jobs are right for you. And then what in that process you can do like your certification, your knowing about the voicing, how to determine when is voicing going to happen. Just and it sounds like you should just always presume that voice is going to be in every single job.
I That's exactly what I believe, and I thought that's something they pretty much teach you guys in the ITP program. Like they can't hear and they can't talk. Yes, some people are hard of hearing and they have some sort of speech, but just because they do doesn't mean they want to use it. Because a lot of hard of hearing people don't want to use it. They decide when they want to use it. You know what I mean? So we
Yeah.
can just assume like, oh yeah, you have some speech. You're gonna speak for yourself. They don't want to sometimes. So
Hmm.
I think that voicing should just it should just be in your automatic. I'm accepting this job. I'll probably have to voice a little. You know?
Okay. So then it sounds like a reshifting that a lot of interpreters don't have. Hmm.
And then I guess if you don't like what level am I at? I guess that really depends. Like if you I'm guessing if you finished an ITP program, you might still have
So then my next question too is because if I don't have like say this job is coming up and I look at it, your course has taught me, Daisy, how to determine where I'm at. I know I can sign and I could produce good signs at a level 3. My voicing, unfortunately, is a level 1. How do I grow my voicing? Like, what opportunities are there to grow? Is that the EIPA only? Is that RID? Is that do I have to go
I
to
don't
CAD?
I think the EIPA goes like with certification, but I think like
Okay.
with self-awareness, probably like how to grow and improve my skill set.
Hmm.
And I would say like things that you can do at home, right? Or trying to set up a support group or looking for a mentor. I usually tell people look up YouTube and find something that interests you because it has to be something that interests you. Start with something that interests you. Look up a little YouTube that's like 10 or 15 minutes. Whether it's you want to work on voicing, then look up a signed one that doesn't have any voicing because there's lots of those online on YouTube and then voice it, right?
Hmm.
Record yourself, find a mentor or find somebody that's willing to view it. Or, maybe you have to pay for it for somebody to do that for you. But you could do that at home. You don't need to
So
take,
then, oh,
you
oh,
don't need,
sorry. I didn't mean to-
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't need to take, because you have to prepare for the EIPA anyways.
Yeah.
So you should be doing these things already, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, these are things that for a lot of people aren't gonna like think about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there are some people who will think, okay, if I go on YouTube, what videos are good? How do I know this? You know, so it might be good in your course to like, hey, here's a bunch of resources from YouTube that you could use to practice. Here's a video that's good with a good signer at a certain rate. This is a level 3 video for somebody who's at a level 1 to try to get to level 3. Or this video, here's a deaf person signing at this rate for a person who's at a level 2 for you to practice to get stronger at level 2. Like you can determine levels, like based on like what links used to do from level 1 to level 5. Like, hey, this video, this deaf person is like, you know what I mean? Don't try to voice it as a level 1. Try to voice this video instead. And you could offer this in your course. Like, hey, here's all these resources. I've gone through them. I've looked at them. And then at the same time, you could provide a transcript of what it is. Like, hey, this is how I would have voiced it. Compare. You know what I mean? Did you get close? Did you improve in certain areas? Did you use the right vocabulary? Did you phrase it correctly? And then that helps improve. Because if I was an interpreter and maybe my voicing is at level 3 and I want to become a level 5, how am I gonna know my voicing is good or not without extra support? You know what I mean? Like you said, a mentor. Maybe you can provide a list of people who want to be mentorships. And maybe they pay like, hey Daisy, here's like $5 a month, add me on there, and people can contact me or whatever. And then support groups, you can establish groups, and then people who take your course can link up with each other. Like here's a networking system for that. Let me add that on. Hold on, let me send a new link because this is gonna end right now.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, less than a minute.
Yeah, just a second. Let me stop sharing. Where's the next?
I think it's the same. You don't have like one standing link for the whole thing.
I don't know. Let me check.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Like, what do they teach you guys in the ITP program? Or I assume that they teach you guys more than they probably do, according to what.
No, I think like they do, because from what I remember, it's a lot about like because I didn't get to the last class, which was the practicum, so I
Mhm,
didn't went to that. But basically, it was like you take jobs in outside, you know what I mean?
mhm.
And then after that, they record you in assessor level, and you go from there. There's not a lot about like the actual real world practical application stuff. It's
Mhm.
more about your production of ASL. You know what I mean? In terms of like, okay, how does your signing look? Are you getting to the jobs on time and doing all that? I don't know how it's been in the last like few years because I haven't been in it. Sarai might know more, but I figure it's just the same. I would probably I could look at the list of courses and I could probably tell you what it's like. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But for sure, there's probably not a lot about like what you need to do. Like, okay, so when you say team interpreting, what do you mean by team interpreting?
So, team interpreting, like, I mean, I guess, well, I have this because my friend wants to do like a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Like a interpreting podcast. So we had written some notes. So like we were gonna share like what's my experience team interpreting.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people sometimes in the beginning they get teamed with like that one person that is just like this the whole time, or they walk out. So then they think like, oh, that's team interpreting, but it's not. Like make remembering that there has to be also like, let's say you're teaming with your bestie, right? Because a
Yeah.
lot of like people that go to ITP programs, I noticed they become like really close friends and stuff. And then they're out there working, and it's like remembering those boundaries when you're teaming with a close friend or even your best friend, and
Mhm.
just being supportive to your team. And what does support look like when you're teaming?
Okay. That makes sense.
And like, let's say your teaming in person is going to be different than your teaming on remote jobs.
Oh yeah.
I think that sometimes people think like, oh, we can't really, you don't really have any support when you're remote, but there is different ways that you can be a supportive team when you're doing remote jobs. That's a lot of stuff I'm gonna have to write, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, well, who are you working with the podcast?
It's my friend named Cecilia. I think she said she met you before. She said that she had met you when you used to be at Crescent. She was there, I think, for a summer. She's a little chubby Latina girl.
You might have to show me a picture because if she could help you write this content for this teaming one, if you guys are already doing the podcast and you guys already have stuff,
Hmm.
it might, so you don't have to do it all on your own. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna have to think about when do you want these courses to come out and what is the timeline you want for each course to be done, and then you know what I mean? Because I'm like in my mind, all of this stuff it might take like a whole year for it to be all done, and I don't know how fast you want it to go. You know what I mean?
So would it be good to try to just focus on one and then see how that one goes and then go from there? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
probably. But it's good to put this content here, like, okay, what ideas are you thinking of? And then
Mhm.
you can focus on one, finish that one, see how it does, make adjustments and tweaks, and then go to the next one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you could just focus on one that you think would be the most prevalent on best to put out. Like, okay, this is the biggest need that we see. Let's put this one out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But it's still good to come up with the stuff. Home. I'm gonna just put on site. What's the word? Is it on site?
Yeah, on site in person.
So what are other things you see with that?
Um, I would also say having ethics when you're team interpreting because sometimes some teams want to split up the work. Like by that, I mean, so let's say it's a 4 hour job. Some people will be like, hey, I'll do 2 hours and then you do 2 hours, but it doesn't work that way, you know?
So is there, because I know the most common thing has always been like 2020, right? Switching out every 20.
Yeah.
Is that like the industry standard now, or is it different?
No, it's pretty much the standard, but online it's usually 15-15.
Really? Why is it?
Remote jobs are 15-15 just because 20 seems to feel a little longer, but depends how much downtime you have. If you have a lot of downtime, then sometimes you do 30 to an hour. It just depends on the job.
So then who determines, is that something that the agency can determine beforehand? Or is that something when you go in, you're just like, hey, what's up? Let's
Yeah,
do
we
30.
usually determine, but there is, I would say half of the time, the client also determines this because switching so much can be bothersome to them. Like,
Mhm.
well, I'm adjusting to your style, then you switch already so fast, and I gotta adjust to the next person's style, you know?
So then basically it sounds like how do you negotiate that when you're there? And
Yeah.
what tips and tricks can you use when you get there? How do you engage the client to get what they want and also have a good team experience? Okay.
And not to get offended if like I've been to team jobs where like my team has a little pad, like a little I don't know iPad. They have their pencil and they're all here. I want you to write notes for me while I'm interpreting, for feedback. Like sometimes that feels a little like, okay, you just gave me homework. Like I didn't come here to do homework. I just came here to do my job. Like don't get offended because sometimes, yeah, I don't feel like doing that. You know what I mean? But that
Yeah.
doesn't mean I'm not being supportive. I'm being supportive at the job, which is my job to be
Mm.
supportive to you here at the job. But just because I didn't want to write notes for you on your skills doesn't mean
Yeah.
being supportive. So knowing the difference between those two things.
Okay. So then that goes back to what we said earlier about how to gauge your level, right? So maybe they're trying to get feedback to improve their level
It's
and
true.
they don't know how to go somewhere else. So then that's where your course would fill that need. You know what I mean? So, okay. So, but it also sounds like at the same time, okay, right now is not the moment, how to recognize that moment and when to do it. And then
Right.
how to put yourself to the side, to put your ego to the side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So then what else do you think? So that's all, like that's an interplay too. So ethics, um, what else did you want to say? What else do you think?
Freelancing, ethics, standard switching, remote versus person. Mhm.
And then we don't have to do this all today because it's gonna be a lot more. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I think I don't know, including somewhere like
Hmm.
learning or I think like a support system is like really important, but I don't know where it falls into.
Well, it can kind of be its own thing. Like when you say support system, do you mean support system in general just to improve your skills, emotionally, um,
You know,
everything?
yeah.
Okay.
Like you
So
were
then
at
that,
a job and you felt like frustrated or mad, like you feel like you need to vent with someone, just making sure that you have that, or you have a question and you need to text someone to ask. Um,
so then I think that could probably be its own thing within your own course. Like, hey, interpreters go through all these things. This is a network that we've created that you can engage for these different things. And then how we set that up can look a lot different because
oh,
like
maybe it could be like I'm an interpreter now, right? And then that could be a separate one. Network and support system.
well, that would still fall under your entire course of network and support. So like here, I'm an interpreter. Now what? First steps, my business, etc. What does team interpreting look like when I go out in the field? What was the other one that we said? Ethics. What does it mean to be ethical and my skill set? And then here's a networking that I can engage in because now that I left ITP program, I'm all on my own. I don't have my buddy like I did before in the program. I don't see my buddy every day. I'm
Mhm.
taking a job in Rancho and they're taking jobs in Long Beach. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like I have that support.
And all during all this, like you should still be studying to get certified, hopefully, right?
But then that could be another thing, yeah, certification. So that could be like an overarching theme too. Um, so that's duplicate this again. Because you're right, they would need support, emotional. What is that called again? When it like you're interpreting and then as you're interpreting, you're like, oh, it's impacting me, and I didn't like, you know what I mean? Forgot.
I know what you're talking about.
I forgot the name for it. Transference? No,
Yeah,
that's not.
yeah, I think it is transference. Transference section.
So skill level, um, mentors, friends. Was there anything else with that?
Hold on. Was it skill level, mentors, friends,
Emotional.
network support, emotional
And then I just kept this because it kind of matched, but I don't know if you want to change that.
skill level.
So I think,
Hmm. I guess I don't know if it matches there, but like under I guess it's with self-awareness too, but like certain jobs, like you said, like they might trigger something in you or like understanding like your own personal triggers and boundaries, I guess, and being able to identify that. because yeah, whatever your, not only your cultural upbringing, but your home upbringing, those different like layers of identity that we have, and
Yeah. Intersectionality.
yeah, like
Yeah.
knowing how to be self-aware so that you could be like, okay, even if it's just like a temporary thing, like my dog just died last week. I don't think I should do that job at Siaka because
Yeah.
it's a mess, you know?
That makes sense. Let's see. That's right here. Ethics.
I don't know where that would go. I don't know if it would go with network and support. Maybe not, but
I mean, it could be both. Like, how do I receiving support for getting past those triggers? We could revisit it, but it definitely would go under ethics. Like, okay, and self-awareness. Um,
yeah, I would go under self-awareness.
there's- Hmm.
Are you on the free Canva or did you get an account?
Oh no, I've had an account for a while now. I've had it since I was teaching,
Oh, that's good.
so I just kept it because it works real well with everything. There's a few other things that I want to get to, but I gotta save it from culture, life events. Always, you're really always self-analyzing. You're right.
Yeah, like identity layers, cultural upbringing, and language, I guess. I don't know. It's just like a bunch of just random stuff, though, huh?
And no, because it all fits into this, and what would need to be what would need to be done is really identifying. So if these are all the things that go into ethics. What is it that I need for my course? What are these key points that I want people to learn from it? And then I would help you organize everything. So like here's the description of the courses, what the course is about. And then since I'm going to learn these things, that's going to help you put these things into these categories. We put it together. Um, but it really starts with just getting everything out there.
Yeah,
The-
this is a good start. I like this brainstorming dump.
yeah, basically, that's basically what it is. So that you can get all your thoughts out there, and then we put everything into the correct category. And then once it's in that, then we organize it and shift it, put it together. Boom.
I
It's
think
just takes
under,
long.
yeah, I think under like certification, is there one that is, well, yeah, that's the one that we have for working towards your certification, huh?
Well, that could be its own thing. Do you think it belongs in its own like actual course certification?
Yeah.
Like, what is the certification? What does it look like? How do you get it? Um, what is
I,
that process?
I
Huh?
think it should be like certification and what certifications are out there, RID, the
Hmm.
EPA, and then there's one called BEI. And then just talking about those three, under certifications and knowing which one, what is it that you want to do? Like, what's your goal? Which one's the right one for me, I guess? What path
Okay.
do I want to take?
That could be like a mini course. Do you think there would be enough there? Well, two things with that. One, would that do a lot of interpreters want to get certified in different ways?
I think they do, yeah.
Okay. And so then that would fill the need that you think. And then two, do you think there's enough with each part? Like, so you mentioned three of those, right?
So that I think that a lot of people don't even know like about
Hmm.
that the EIPA has a written and a performance, but depending what state you're in, you know,
Oh,
so like in the state of California, to work here under your EIPA
yeah.
at all school districts, the state only requires you to have the performance. You don't have to have the written, but you can get the written if you want to do like what I did. I took the written and the performance, and then I submitted that to RID so I could get an extra certificate, which is an educational K through 12 certificate.
Yeah.
But some people
Educational
don't know that.
interpreting.
Huh?
Okay. No, I said, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, some people don't, they're just like, oh, I thought it was just like a performance. But that's what it is here in California, that's required. But other states might require both. And then there's RID, of course, but RID just gives the NIC now. They don't have any other tests. Like before, they used to have like CI, CT, and then it's always changed names, but now it's just NIC, pass or fail. That's it. And then there's another one called the BEI, which has been around for a little while, but now it's being more recognized where you will accept the RID or the BEI.
Hmm.
And I think the BEI has several different because
Basically.
they have a trilingual too.
So then, yeah, sounds like it could be its own course because if there's all these, which one do I need? How do I determine which one is right for me based on what I want to do? You know what I mean? So if I don't want to go and interpret in the K through 12, I don't need this other certification. It'd be a waste of time for me. If I only
Yeah.
want to do corporate jobs, maybe I only need this certification. If I only like doing concerts, do I need, like I also wouldn't need that education. You know what I mean? So that makes a lot of sense. So it would first probably start off like, how do I determine, yeah, what type of interpreter do you want to be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you know what? Even if I did interpret, I know for sure I would never want to do concerts. Like,
Really?
yeah, I don't think I would want to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't, that's not my thing either. I've done it before when people weren't always recording you because I think like
Oh
that's
yeah, that's right. They do. That could be another course too. How do you determine, like, how do you, with the world, how does the world impact you and how do you know what I mean? Because that's a real thing. That is a real thing. You're right. I forgot about that. Wow, it really does record you, man.
yeah. I mean, people didn't record me when I was doing it. At least I don't think so. But you know, those groups were like I did like Pitbull. I love Pitbull, and I know all his songs by memory. You know,
Yeah,
I felt like and when I didn't know it, we made sure we got the lyrics and we had
yeah,
prepped stuff. It's too much though, and you got to be like all animated and shit. Which
yeah.
I guess sometimes I already am, but not that animated. Like
It's a different kind. You know what I mean?
different realm, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not for me. Or like people that really want to do like TV stuff, and I guess they just want to be out there. Yeah, there's some people that want to do that.
No,
But
I just forgot about the TV.
it's not for me.
I would be into that if I were doing that. I would be down for TV stuff. Yeah, not concert stuff, but like I'll go and interpret the TV stuff. I'm cool with that.
Like the Grammys and stuff like that, or what?
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Cool.
For that though, I would have to have my skills. You know what I mean? There are certain things that I'd be like, oh, I probably mess up right there. You know what I mean? For certain things, and then two like other things, I'm like, oh, yeah, I could see where I would probably need to be better. So you said RID, EIPA, BEI, what else?
RID, BAPA, BEI, and that's it, pretty much.
Oh, okay. And then basically all these is the same thing as this.
Yeah.
And then you would initially, I would say this is what you would do first. Like, okay, this is the first step in the course, determining what is right for you, and then focus on this part of the course. Don't worry about this. I mean, you can, it's there in the course for you. If you bought it, you paid for it, you're going to have it all, but it's going to be worth your time if you focus on this more. You know what I mean? Because this is the type of interpreting you want. Yeah, this is a lot. This is a lot already.
I didn't even get to the trilingual one.
You didn't. I didn't even think about that because there's also more like you talked about too with TV, concerts, all kinds of things. So just these, that's 4. Oh, 5. From just these 5, like it's coming.
Yeah, my friend is supposed to send me topics for new interpreters because she does actually a little mentoring program at Mount Sac.
Oh,
So she said that she wanted to send me some topics to see if I'd be open to, I guess, uh, visiting her group of mentees.
I mean, why not? This could help you. It could also help your workshop stuff, business, team ethics, support, and certification. This is team. I'm not gonna put support because I would say that's not really a course, but really a way to network with people. And then you can just provide like, hey, this is how it help you, and this is what you use it for. But it still would need to be built out. You know what I mean? Like that would just come with whatever you buy. But again, that would be up to you if you want to, like how you want to sell that
Okay.
certification. Okay, so then which one would you want to do first based on these? And again, there's only 4. You could always come up with something else.
Hmm.
Like to you, what is the biggest need based on what we've talked about, or the
What-
biggest need that you've seen, or that you know about that everybody talks about that you know is prevalent?
I
Business?
think business probably because everybody wants to know, only because here in California, AB5 passed. And like a lot of agencies, they ask you for a business license, and everybody gets like all stressed out about it. And they're like, wait a minute, what? But you don't have to be a business to get a business license, but people don't seem to know that. Um, I think an easy one would be certification because all you got to do is look up, all I have to do is look up like
Mm-hmm.
EIPA and talk a little bit about their requirements, RID, talk about their requirements, BEI, talk about their requirements. You know what I mean? Like everything's
Yeah,
already out there. It just be doing the work. Yeah.
that makes sense. Okay.
And probably maybe ethics. Because I did like a feedback survey when I did a workshop, and it seemed like a lot of people were asking, like, because I put, like, what topics would you like to see in the future? Internships, how to navigate through the red tape as a newbie, how to move forward on the next steps as an interpreter, trilingual interpreting, how to expand myself to get into the to interpreting work, approaching on a business level, how to find work. Somebody else said, knowing your worth and rate and boundaries. What kind of boundaries do I need? Uh, tax write-offs for interpreting.
Taxes, worth, slash rate, because these could fit into the content that we're talking about. Can you say it all again? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Somebody said they would want to know about internships, how to navigate through the red tape as a newbie.
What does that mean, red tape? What do you?
I think they mean like how to even start interpreting because they put how to move forward on the next step to be an interpreter.
Oh, that was together.
Yeah, those were good together.
Okay.
It's like they were just writing their thoughts, I guess. A lot of people seem, I keep getting the same question, like, how do I find work? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I put like, just go to Google and type interpreting agencies, American Sign Language interpreting agencies. And they're like, but then what do I do? So
So
I
then,
like that's
sorry, go
like
ahead.
also an important, like that's why my workshop was like, so now what,
Yeah.
I want to be an interpreter, so now what? Like they don't even know like what to do next.
So then it might be prudent to have one just about agencies. Like agencies, this is where you go to get work. And here are the list of agencies. This is how you would engage them. This is who the directors are. This is who's running it. This is how you contact them. As a business, this is how you should contact them. As an independent person, this is how you contact them. And then, like, so this might be worth its own course just to talk about how agencies work, how they engage with you, how they send things out, how they do their billing with you, how they work and contact the deaf community, and then how you work through them with the deaf community. Sounds like. How do you get work? That's funny. Sorry. Billing. Oops.
And I guess, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I guess it's intimidating maybe to even start the process. That's what I was getting from them.
Mm.
I don't know. Cause yeah, that's what like finding work, knowing your worth or your rate. But do you think it would be a good idea to name the agencies? Cause then,
Well, their information is all public, right?
yeah,
So you wouldn't be really doing anything in terms of like you're not stealing. If anything, you're helping them out.
yeah,
But I see what you mean. Like, okay, I'm gonna include them in my course. You know, you're not taking their content. You're not taking the information. All you're doing is saying like here's where you would want to go, and then here's how you. So like here's a list of agencies. Here's their contact information. Here's how to uh, uh, here's their number. And then you would have a general thing about this is how you want to engage agencies in general. This is what agencies do in general. This is what you need to look out for in general. And it's just a broad, like, this is how you can apply these principles to this list of agencies that I'm giving you. Because then you're not really taking anything from agencies. You're, and then also, that's also a way that you could reach out to the agencies, like, hey, here's my course. I've done workshops with a bunch of interpreters. They keep asking me who's out there, who do I get in contact with. I've made this course. Um, can you put me on your website? And I'm going to be putting you on my website. You know what I mean? Like maybe links can put, here's a course by Gada Interpreting Agency that helps you with this. You know what I mean? And that way you get your name out there. So like it's a give and take because you're also sending people their way. You know what I mean? That's another idea, but that comes later, you know what I mean? But nah, you would be fine because you're not breaking any laws, you're not breaking any copyright. As far as I can tell, I mean, I could look into it more, but as far as I know, you'd be good to go. Contact, how to engage, accepting jobs.
yeah. Another one says like step-by-step process to get work, like
Yeah, that's what this would be.
more in depth of each topic. I don't know what that meant. More on working topics when out in the field.
Or
Teaming,
more on working topics when out in the field, like engineering, healthcare. Is that what they mean?
maybe. It was-
So then is that what you would want to do first? Agencies?
Oh,
Adding them?
somebody else put the struggles interpersonal and intrapersonal of freelance interpreters, how to grow and develop as a freelance interpreter, time management and managing working with multiple agencies. I- Working with multiple agencies should be with the agencies, huh?
Hmm. And time management.
Sorry, that's what happens to Gabriel. What was the thing? Like you always.
Time management can go into each of the courses too. Like that would be part of the content. Like, okay, if you're a business, this is how you want to manage your stuff throughout the day, throughout the year, making sure you're hitting these milestones. Or as an independent person, you're working full time. This is what it looks like. Maybe you can use this, something like that. That will probably be something that's like just built into the courses. Agencies.
I didn't realize there was that many.
Well, that's not even a lot because there's still other things that we didn't include. Um,
I think that what I have, I can see where it can fit in. Probably.
so you have these 5 so far. That one that I put there. Business. And again, these wouldn't be the titles, but like this is what it's about. So the business side of it. Did you want to separate this one into 2, where it's business and individual, or business and individual into 1? What do you think is better?
Um, business.
I mean, we could start making it as 1, and if you realize you have enough for 2, separate them into 2. You know what I mean?
I think it should be as one.
Okay, you got it. I have to just upgrade this thing. That'll be way easier.
I didn't even realize it was ending.
Me neither. Not bad. I guess. Why is this pop up? Okay, and then let's keep it as 1. So which one do you want to focus on though?
I'll try to focus on. I feel like I have some stuff for the business and agencies.
Okay. So now that, do you want to try to determine objectives today, or do you want to do that on a different day? Well, what time is it? It's gonna be 5?
Yeah.
Let's do that on a different day. Because the next step now will be getting the course description as you want it, a title, and then objectives for that course. Like, what are people going to learn? And then we'll just go through the content.
Okay.
Steve
Business and agencies.
Matthew/Daisy for business and agencies. Action item description. Objectives, and then a title. March 1st.